Hey, Dr. Vicki, thanks so much for coming and spend time with me today and sharing about your amazing TheraPure pitcher. I'm sorry that I have to bring you back, but I guess the show that you were on, the WoW call, got garbled in that section, and Cynthia felt that it was so important she wanted to have a special recording.
Absolutely. The TheraPure pitcher is actually, this is what it looks like. And I know you can't see TheraPure because it's in green. So when I turn the box this way, you can see TheraPure. And that's
Right.
the pitcher that is then allowing that green filter in the middle to actually take your tap water and take it from the pH of 7 to an 8.9, which is alkaline water.
Nice. So I ordered one, which I'm excited because I know the importance of having alkalinity. So how long have you been using that product and what have you noticed?
Well, I started using it when probably about a year and a half ago when I first heard about it. And what I like about it is even though we have well water and we have a very deep well, over 260 feet. So we have very, very good, very minerally water, which I like. In fact, people come to our house to get our tap water and then they take it home. But what I like about it is that most people really enjoy the taste. Your food just tastes better when you have your complement of minerals. So I don't need to take a calcium supplement. I don't need to take a magnesium supplement. I have all of that in my water. And our pH is a natural 7.0-ish. So if I want a more alkaline water, then this is actually the perfect pitcher to do it with, because you just add your tap water to it, and within 10 seconds, all of that top reservoir has passed through the filter, and you now have your alkaline water on the bottom. We've tested the pH. It does come out at 8.9. But if you're on a city water, it will take the chlorine out for you. So you don't have to worry about a fancy, expensive system to get chlorine out of your city water supply. You can actually do it with a pitcher right in your own refrigerator, or I keep mine on the counter.
Nice. And so if somebody's using, what is that other pitcher that's really popular that everyone uses right now? The
A Brita.
Brita, is that what it's
Mm-hmm.
called?
Right.
So does it do the same thing as the Brita, but it adds the pH piece?
Right. The pH piece is what's the really important piece to it. So Brita will also take out chlorine, but you're not able to change and alkalinize the pH of the water. So you're taking other impurities out, but you're not taking it to an alkaline level.
Okay. So if somebody's using a Brita right now, it will do that plus the pH, which is what we're talking about, why we're talking today.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so it just begs the question, why is an alkaline water the best? When it comes out of the ground at 7, what is your advantage? Why do I need an alkaline water of 8.9? Well, the real reason is that you're actually helping your digestive system. And your digestive system, you'd say, well, wait a minute, your stomach works on a pH of 1.8 to 2.6. So you can't tell me that suddenly dumping something alkaline at 8.9 is going to help my stomach. Well, people who have acid reflux and reflux disease will disagree with you, because they'll say my acid is too overactive for my system and I suffer for that acid reflux. And if you have a dysfunction in the sphincter at the base of your esophagus, it lets that acid of 1.8 to 2.6 up into your esophagus where it doesn't belong, and you start developing irritation or erosions, and that can actually lead to esophageal cancer. That tissue is not meant to be exposed to acid, and if it does get exposed to acid, it causes problems. So besides having your water Now you can alkalinize your water. That's a way to actually help your digestion. Obviously, you're still adding acid from your GI tract, but if you add acid and you've got 8.9, you're going to bring it to a better level that won't irritate an esophagus. If your stomach muscle there, that sphincter, it's not easily repaired, you literally may have to always work at changing the pH in your stomach so you aren't at risk for an esophageal issue. So that's number one. Number two is it's really, really good for your bones. Realize that new bone will only form, and you form new bone when you have a more alkaline environment. But if you're only in an acid environment, then you can't form new bone. You can only break down old bone. So acid in your system can happen if you are more sedentary. If you know, because we're not talking just stomach now, we're talking acid in your bloodstream from head to toe, acid in your tissues, acid in muscles. We've all heard feel the burn when you exercise. Well, that's acid from lactic acid that stays built up in your muscles. Unless you flush that out, you're going to have acid in those tissues. Then a poorly hydrated or less hydrated person is going to have trouble clearing that, number one. Number two, if you do hydrate well and you're dumping a bunch of that acid into your bloodstream, how well do you think your kidneys are going to handle things? So if you have a chronic kidney disease, you may not filter as well. You may be dumping extra acid all the time into chronically impaired kidneys, which may only hasten a chronic kidney disease, and you may not be able to reverse that back to a normal kidney function. So it's good for bone health, believe it or not. And
well, I've
thirdly,
also heard that for
hydration.
bone, sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but sorry for so I've heard that for bone health, that if you are too acidic, your body will literally draw calcium down from your bones to neutralize the acid in your body. And that's why they've shown that, you know, milk is really acidic. And they've shown that in the states where people drink the most milk, they have the highest incidence of osteoporosis.
Well, and know that milk is anywhere between 6.5 to 6.8 on average versus neutral is 7. Okay. So yes, milk has some acid to it. And many people don't realize, although many do, that milk can be very mucus producing in your mucous membranes of your body. It's cow protein, not human protein. And some people just react to that and they get a lot of sinusy mucus production. They may be more prone to sinus infection. They may actually have mucus production in their GI tract and they get more bloated from milk. Some people actually have allergies to the proteins and the whey products of cow's milk. And it's literally a combination of extra mucus production and allergy to those proteins. So, you know, so many times, yes, you'll hear you've got reflux, drink milk, but that doesn't work for everyone.
That doesn't make sense to me at all. And, you know, it grosses me out. I've heard the saying that humans are the only species that drinks milk of the mother after they're weaned, you know, drinks the milk. I'm like, oh, that kind of grosses me out, but I'm just not a milk drinker anyway. But when I heard that about it makes sense, because when I was pregnant and I had heartburn, what did I do? I took calcium or Tums, which is calcium. So when I heard that, it really made a lot of sense to me.
Well, and one of the easiest things people can do for heartburn, believe it or not, is take a half a teaspoon of baking soda, put it in 2 ounces of water and drink it. Baking soda is very alkaline. So you're just doing a very simple, inexpensive, everyone's got baking soda in their cabinet in the kitchen, half a teaspoon, put it in 2 ounces of water, chug along.
Oh yeah. Dr. Gloria told me to do that anyway, but I can't gag down that baking soda. It makes me feel sick. So she's like, well, just start off with 1/8 of a teaspoon or 1/4 of a teaspoon. But I'm like, no, I'm going to get this pitcher. This sounds way easier. So
It is way easier.
let me ask you another question. Do you drink all your water from that pitcher or a half of
No,
it? Or
no, I don't. And the reason that I don't is that I still very much believe in the philosophy of moderation. You can't just go all to one degree and expect that your body, A, is going to naturally adjust to that quickly. It won't. And B, that taking something that you've done your whole life and switching it to something else going forward is not necessarily going to be the right action. So what I do is I do probably 2 16-ounce mugs of alkaline water a day. Now, I will tell you that if you use alkaline water to make a cup of coffee, you will bring out more of your taste in your coffee with alkaline water. And for those people who can only have 1 cup, maybe 2 cups of coffee, then realize that may be your best cup of coffee ever is with alkaline water.
ooh, and then will it neutralize the acid in the coffee so it's more balanced?
I'm not going to say that that's its mechanism of action. It's more that it draws out more of the flavor notes from the coffee. Okay.
Okay.
So realize, like wine, coffees have different tastes. They pick up from the soil and from the environment they're grown in. And it's like a wine, somebody who's got a very good palate for picking that up can tell you in wine what region this came from, what country it came from. Well, people can do that with coffee too, because they can pick out different tastes, different notes from the coffee. And so my husband is an assistant brewmaster. He can do that with beer. He can tell you where the water came from. And if the water is more alkaline or it has more salt in it or whatever, he can tell that from drinking the beer because he's that attuned to the different notes and tastes and the different types of yeast and things that are used in beer. So everybody has their gift. So if you realize that you can improve the quality and taste of your cup of coffee.
Well, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that because I love coffee. I have to say, coffee, the flavor of coffee is like my favorite flavor of anything. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just love coffee. I don't drink too much of it, but I really, really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the next question you'll probably want to ask me is, can you over alkalinize? Yes, you can. And the kinds of things that can happen is you can actually get nauseous because you neutralized it too much. And you can actually shut down some of your proteases, which help you break down protein. So, but you can also get hand tremors. I mean, our body is meant to work at a very specific balance point. And if you put too much alkaline in, you're going to disturb that balance such that there's going to be issues. You may have muscle twitching. You may actually have some mental confusion. And it's just going to interfere with how well your gut works. So don't overdo too much alkaline. And it doesn't mean that, if you have alkaline water for a whole day, that you're going to have these side effects. What I'm talking about is you're doing a very alkaline diet all the time, every day for weeks, is you'll potentially have some of those side effects. But, you just want to be in moderation, So again, I do 2 16-ounce mugs a day, and the rest of it is just my regular tap water, or I'm drinking my coffee, or I drink hot lemon water. And you'd think, lemon water, aren't you negating your alkaline? Well, as crazy as this sounds, apple cider vinegar, which should be acid, lemon, which should be acid, as your body metabolizes it and it gets absorbed and into your bloodstream, it becomes alkaline.
Yep. I do lemon water, a quart of lemon water every morning as soon as I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So I love my lemon water.
Yeah,
And it's good for you to wake up and alkalize right away, I think.
right. I just don't know. I can't tell you what a lemon water pH will do, what pH it reaches in your body. So this one, I know what it is when you're taking it in. So
Awesome. And how much water do you drink a day?
between 100 to 124 ounces a day. And that's whether you're 5'2" or whether you're 6'6". You need that much fluid going through your system and flushing muscles and joints and organs. Your metabolism works in every part of your body every day, and you have to allow for the reaction byproducts to be cleared from your body. So for my patients that would tell me, well, my bladder leaks if I sneeze and I drink that much water, I'll be in the bathroom all day. What I tell them is you'll adjust. You literally will adjust as you start drinking more fluid. So you have to start the process somewhere, but you do need to get that much fluid in you. And if you're really physically athletic, now you've got to balance it with electrolyte, because too much water can actually be a water intoxication issue. And that can be an issue with confusion with your brain as well, because now you're washing out your electrolytes. And too low of a sodium, because you're not putting salt back in, can actually lead to confusion issues as well. And you'll hold on to fluid in tissues, so you'll puff like the Michelin Man, and you just don't want that either.
Yeah. And I'll attest to that. I was on a mountain bike ride one day and it was hot, like super duper hot. And I was feeling a little woozy. And my husband's biking partner gave me a salt packet. And I'm telling you, within a minute, I was like feeling way better.
Right, right.
So yeah, I've been there. Interesting.
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
Awesome. Anything else you got for us, Dr. Vicki?
Well, one of the things I was going to mention is that there was a study on the effect of having, and I'm reading my notes here. So having enough, pardon me, having enough of the right balance of electrolyte and water, and just enough water in general. Realize the more sedentary somebody is, the more you would think your body doesn't need to drink as much water. Well, that's a fallacy. Your body is still working, it's just working at a slower speed, but you're still creating breakdown products. You're not taking in as much oxygen, therefore you're keeping more carbon dioxide, which is acid, in your tissues. So you are becoming more acid as you are sedentary. Even if you think, well, it's just a day, I'm not going to go outside and exercise today. Even if you get 30 minutes a day of something physical and then chase that with a 16-ounce of fluid, preferably water, and sometime during the day, at least a 16-ounce of an electrolyte, something or other, that you're going to enhance your body's ability to clear toxin and maintain its pH balance better, even if all you do is 30 minutes a day. Walk a treadmill. If you do walk stairs, 5 minutes of stair walking is worth 30 minutes of flat land walking. So if it's rainy, do 5 minutes of stair walking. And I don't mean take the stairs, take a 30-second break at the top of the stairs. I'm talking 5 minutes continuous. And you're going to feel it in your legs. You're going to feel that burn after 3.5 minutes. If you jog your stairs, you'll probably be able to accomplish the same thing in 2.5 minutes that you would get in 5 minutes of stair walking or 30 minutes of flat walking. So realize, even if you have inclement weather, everybody's got a pair of stairs.
Yep, that's right. Or you can go to the mall and go, find stairs and be somewhere, you know, in an environment that you can do that inside. We used to have these groups of women that would walk the mall in the winter. You
Mhm,
know, they would just like go to the mall every day and do loops inside.
mhm. Right,
It
right,
works.
right, right. So, yeah, so there's just some really interesting things that people, you know, we intuitively think that if we don't move, our metabolism isn't working, but that's not the case. Our metabolism is always working. It's whether it's working faster or if it's working at its normal pace. So you just have to realize that.
Yeah, and every breath you take, you lose a little bit of water. So if
Mhm.
you're breathing, you need to hydrate.
Exactly. Plus, I read a very interesting statistic the other day. The CDC actually came out and stated that 3.3 million people suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome, and primarily in this country. And you go, wow, chronic fatigue syndrome. Um, I've heard of it, but I want you to really wrap your head around this for a second. Chronic fatigue could apply to any of us at any time, right? You know, do you ever feel like you just can't get out of your chair? It's the end of the day and you've just had it. You've spent a full day of doing whatever you did. But imagine if you felt that way all the time. You felt that way even when you woke up. Well,
Yeah.
what they'll tell you, the experts, is that they don't know what causes it, number one. They don't know what helps cure it. So, why would you have a name of a syndrome that you can't put a label on, except the label? You can't define it and you can't cure it. What that means is they don't know what it is. So, if they don't know, they're just going to assign you that diagnosis because A, it gives you something to get mad at. Oh, I have chronic fatigue. Doesn't that make you feel better? You can get mad at something. You can write it down. You can throw darts at it. You can just, now you've got a name of what's going on with you, but you still don't have anything you can do about it. So, what if, and this is my take on this, what if chronic fatigue is really poorly hydrated, poorly moving? Your body needs to have alkaline water. That's just one little piece of it, but you need movement. Movement is life. And you need to realize that medicine is going to put a label on something, whether they know what's going on or not. And you heard that here.
Oh, yeah. And then from an energetic standpoint, when you say, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, or I know people who do this, my chronic fatigue system, you're owning it. So
Right,
good luck getting rid of it when you want to own something that you don't really want, you know?
right,
So
right. So don't take that ownership. Take that and throw it out the window. You, a, there is no such thing as chronic fatigue. Even medicine will tell you they can't define it. So if you can't define it, what is it? It's just a label, and you don't want labels stuck all over you. You want to shed labels. That's really what this device also is all about. Let's shed all of these myths about how the body works, and let's increase the speed at which our mitochondria are working. And so let's give them back that energy of a 20-year-old. Let's let your body work the way it's meant to work.
well said. Well said. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Vicki, I look forward to having you back on WoW. You're just a wealth of information, and I so enjoy conversing with you. So, thank you for coming back on such short notice and sharing, and I'll let you know how the TerraPure pitcher works out for me.
Perfect.
Awesome, my friend. All right, have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for making this QHS project fly. This valorous admin team, thank you. The Key community welcomes you. Thank you for making your home QHS healthy and happy. Thank you for helping us place QH centers all around the world. Together, hand in hand, we make miracles happen. QuantumHealingSystems.org. Thank you.